สวัสดีครับมาพบกับรายการฝรั่งขี้นกสอนภาษาไทยอีกแล้วนะครับนี่เป็นบทที่2นะครับ Here we are back at Farang Kii Nok teaches Thai lesson 2. So actually what I'd really like is for my viewers to come in and tell me whether they prefer for me to teach in Thai or in English. I'd really like to teach in Thai, but at the same time I don't want to leave a certain group of my viewers out by not being able to understand, because I'm not going to be able to do subtitles or anything like that, right? So if you would please leave me a message letting me know what you would prefer, and I'll try and do as good of a mix as I can. ก็วันนี้จะพูดถึงคำถามที่มักจะเจอบ่อยๆเวลาเป็นฝรั่งในประเทศไทยนะครับ questions that you often encounter when being a foreigner in Thailand. Some of the interesting ones. Okay, so one that you probably already learned is คุณมาจากประเทศอะไร or คุณมาจากประเทศไหน often they might leave out some things. Right? When I first got to Thailand, I was thrown off by this. For example, they might just say คุณมาจากไหน คุณมาจากไหน Notice, nobody. It's very rare unless if someone's saying to you คุณมาจากประเทศอะไร and this is very unnatural, right? So once you're starting to get the hang of things, people are going to start speaking to you more quickly, and you're going to have to start to catch up, right? As they say, ฟังทัน to catch up with listening. So they might say คุณประเทศอะไรมาจากไหนเป็นคนที่ไหน or they might just ask you อยู่ที่ไหน and that means where are you from. If they say อยู่แถวไหน then that means where are you staying right now. But usually they say อยู่ที่ไหน unless they say อยู่ที่ไหนตอนนี้ but they still might mean where are you from. So, if you want to clarify, then you could say บ้านผมเหรอครับ or บ้านฉัน right? Of course ผมฉัน you should know this by now, right? ผม males ฉัน females, etc. So, the best way to answer is, of course ผมมาจากฉันมาจาก right? And then just say the name of your country. So, to talk about the sound in doc just for a second. It took me a really long time to figure out how I wanted to pronounce this. I feel like there is a kind of a spectrum of how you can pronounce jock. You could say maybe like jock, 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 jock. You see I'm sort of fluctuating between jock and zock. I feel like if you say anything in between there, you'll be okay, you'll be understandable. It's not jock, jock. It's not that j sound, okay? It's not j. It's sometimes represented with a C, and I used to think that was stupid, but I think that might actually be kind of accurate. Zock, zock. Zock. You can say it like this, zock. Ma zock nai. Yeah, it's correct, it's understandable. Yeah, it's much better than jock. Ma jock nai. Okay? So ma zock nai. Ma zock nai. You want to hear this real crisp ma zock nai. You hear this sound, right? It has to be there. It's not like ma jock. J. There's a lot more sound going on here than ma zock nai. Ma zock nai. Ma zock nai. Ma zock nai. Is another, right? So I'm going between and those are two distinctly different sounds, but I'm telling you that you can fall anywhere in the spectrum, and you will be close enough to the sound. Okay, if some Thai person who really knows their linguistics wants to come in and tell me which one is considered to be standardly correct, and then which ones are regional, that would be great. But if not, then please just know that this is all I got for you right now. All right, so that's already 4 minutes. We just got through the first question, right? But the second question, คำถามที่สองกินเผ็ดได้ไหม right? กินเผ็ดได้ไหม It's a common question. Can you eat spicy food? Now we do actually ask this in English. It's not as weird as when they ask you like กินข้าวเหนียวเป็นไหม Are you able to eat sticky rice? Well, obviously I pick it up and put it in my mouth, right? But that's not what it means. It means like, are you familiar with it? Is it something that you're accustomed to eating? Something like that. It's when they ask you that. So when they say กินเผ็ดได้ไหม it means, are you okay with eating spicy things, right? ได้ครับ You can say this, but it's possible that they won't really believe you, and right? They just think you want to sort of fit in with them and not be like, oh, ไม่ได้ครับ ไม่ได้ครับ but they will of course say, oh, เก่งมาก and you'll be like, how is that เก่ง that I can eat spicy food? It's just spicy food. I mean, I don't really know how to explain this either. It's just something like one Thai people think they need to chom. Not all Thai people, but some Thai people think they need to chom foreigners. And especially if you're making an effort to do things which they consider are Thai, which spicy food is definitely considered Thai, to at least Thai people, right? The ability to eat spicy food is like a Thai thing, right? Not everybody. I have Thai friends who don't eat spicy food at all. But I'm just saying, it's kind of a pentilukan, something that people just know that Thai food is inherently spicy, right? So you being able to eat spicy food is like kind of adapting to their culture. For them, even though you can insist that you've been eating spicy food since you were 5 years old and never knew what Thailand was, and it doesn't really always register quite like you might want it to. Just because spicy food has a different significance in Thai culture. Alright, so another one that you'll have quite often is เมืองไทยร้อนไหม and obviously it's Ron, and this goes back to our Farang Kii Nok, and so there's the phet thing, right? Like, be careful with your sweat in Thailand, right? You can sweat a lot in Thailand really fast on hot days, really, really fast. So, like, you might want to rethink your hygienic routines during your day. Like, you might want to think about maybe taking an extra shower during the day. Might have an extra set of clothes for yourself. Think about these things. You don't want to be dripping sweat all the time and showing everyone how extremely unadapted you are to the heat. Alright? So, that's just one thing to think about. And another question that often comes in association with that maybe is the question, อาบน้ำวันละกี่ครั้ง? So if you say anything la, it means per. So if you say 100%, it's 8%, right? 8 in 100. Right? So you'd said วันละกี่ครั้ง would be how many times in one day. Right? Within one day, how many times? เดือนละกี่ครั้ง within 1 month, how many times? Right? How many times per month? How many times per day? อาบน้ำวันละกี่ครั้ง? You could say อาบน้ำวันละครั้งเดียวครับ and they will not be surprised because it's pretty normal for foreigners for especially for white foreigners from the West to take showers once a day, right? But I usually say เวลาผมอยู่ที่ไทยอาบน้ำถ้าหน้าหนาวก็อาบน้ำวันละครั้งเหมือนตอนที่อยู่โลกตะวันตกตอนที่อยู่แบบนะเยอรมันหรืออเมริกาแต่ถ้าหน้าร้อนนะครับแน่นอนอยู่แล้วว่าต้องอาบน้ำวันละ2 ครั้ง because I do feel like that there is it just sticky hot uncomfortable and also just doing the cool off ritual, right? Just นะล้างตัวด้วยน้ำเย็น just to wash yourself off with cold water is something that really is refreshing, and it sort of gives you a little bit of boost of rejuvenation for the rest of the evening, right? And so it's also อาบน้ำเย็น is something that you might not be used to. I think that it is a really nice strategy for fighting the heat in Thailand. Okay. So, just a couple words about things that might be important for Farang is นะต้องเรียบร้อยนะเราพูดถึงความเป็นฝรั่งขี้นก the being of a ฝรั่งขี้นก that it is something that has a lot to do with appearance. So the important thing is that you need to, if you want to not be labeled as a Farang Kii Nok, which like I said maybe not is a bad thing, I don't really mind it that much, but if you don't want to be, then ต้องทำตัวเรียบร้อยแต่งตัวเรียบร้อยหน้าตาต้องเรียบร้อย You notice the word here that's important is เรียบร้อยร้อย means 100 and เรียบ means like flat, right? พื้นเรียบ I think gotta love it. I just gotta look up words while I'm teaching, but that's what I do it all the time. It's how you learn. It's how I learn. It's how you learn. It's how you don't see me as this like crazy thing just emitting knowledge, but you understand that I'm someone who's learned and now just trying to show you what I've learned. And it's not all right, right? So เรียบ can mean smooth, even, plain, level, right? Okay, good. So you may talk about เรียบง่าย, that's simple. But anyways, we're talking about เรียบร้อย เรียบร้อย Let's see what they have for เรียบร้อย. Now this is important. I really don't want you to be like, well, เรียบร้อย means this. Unless you're going to say this, and then you're going to say a couple sentences, or a sentence at least, that sort of summarizes what the meaning of it is, instead of trying to translate it. Because trying to translate เรียบร้อย is going to make you fall on your face. Okay, so it means neat, polite, neat and tidy. Okay, I like that though. Neat and tidy, orderly, be in good order, right? But it could mean like they're goody two shoes, or if you depending on the way you say it, right? เขาเรียบร้อยมากเลยนะ So like it could be almost negative. แบบเรียบร้อยจนเรียบร้อยเกินไปเลยนะ I mean, I've heard these things. People say that somebody is too เรียบร้อย because it's like they're afraid to do anything, right? But that's only a certain person's opinion. Other people think that ความเรียบร้อย, that neat and tidiness, that order is a great thing, right? But in any case, how do you get to be looked at as เรียบร้อย? What do you have to do? Well, ก็ต้องโกนหนวดนะครับถ้ามีเคราแบบนะกระเซอะ หน้าดูโสมๆก็แน่นอนอยู่แล้ว course ก็จะเหมือนฝรั่งขี้นกนะครับก็คือดูไม่เรียบร้อยนะครับดูไม่ให้เกียรติคนในสังคมที่อยู่รอบข้างเรา right because the fact that we're not taking the time to make ourselves look nice and present ourselves nice is as if we don't value the opinions of the people around us right and I think that's what that must come from I don't know speculation conjecture are dangerous tools but they can also be helpful in helping us think right but please don't be like oh that's what Luke said that makes sense that's right don't do that that's not true everything I say has some problems everything because I always come back and revisit what I say and I'm like okay maybe we could have done something better there maybe I could have said that better alright so for me it's a process it's not an end goal alright I never will reach that goal even with my own language alright so far we have คุณประเทศอะไรกินเผ็ดได้ไหมเมืองไทยร้อนไหมอาบน้ำวันละกี่ครั้งokay so while we'll come back to that but so we were talking about โกนหนวด right ต้องโกนหนวดบ้างNow you don't maybe have to always shave, but like you don't want to have like hair popping out everywhere and just looking really disorderly, right? And you also หน้าต้องสระผม because ไม่งั้นผมจะดูเลี่ยนดูมันis oil, right? And เลี่ยน is greasy. Okay, so something like that. เลี่ยน can also be used with love relationships, like when people are really sappy and romantic. โอ้โหเลี่ยนจนอ้วกเลยเลี่ยนจนอยากอ้วกเลย right? So greasy, I want to, so nasty and like lovey cuddly, I just want to puke, something like that. Yeah, it's another possibility for เลี่ยน but นะผมเลี่ยนมากไม่ได้อาบน้ำมาหลายวัน right? I haven't taken a shower in many days. Notice I use the word มาไม่ได้อาบน้ำมาหลายวัน to show the past tense, right? And especially to show that I haven't, right? It shows the progressiveness of it actually. All right, so my final thing for this video that would be, and I know this hasn't been so organized, but I hope that you've at least got something out of it. The final thing is คุณใช้ซุ่มนั่งยองเป็นหรือเปล่าซุ่มนั่งยองซ่วมโถซ่วม is a toilet and it's actually like the whole mechanism, right? The suam and the chakrok is the actual thing itself but yeah nope, sorry guys, just gotta check on that. I know it's terrible, like, oh god, I'm gonna stop checking stuff. But, you know, things pop in my head and I don't want to say them wrong, so gotta make sure they're right. Yeah, chakrog itself, it does mean the water closet, right, the toilet. So, it could also mean, no, okay, that's right. A chakrog is any toilet that you can flush. Great, chakrog is a toilet you can flush. A suam nangyong is the one that you see in Thailand where there is no flush. You dump water and เทน้ำลงไปนะนั่นคือวิธีมันไม่มีการกดน้ำแค่ล้างน้ำออกไปคือเทน้ำใส่แล้วก็จะนะใส่น้ำใหม่น้ำเก่าน้ำปฏิกูลน้ำสกปรกนะ the dirty water น้ำปฏิกูลน้ำสกปรกจะถูกทิ้งลงไปในท่อไพป์ข้างใต้ชักโครกไม่ถึงซุ่มนั่งยองมันเป็นถูกนำออกไป so people will ask you if you can use these things, right? นั่งยอง means to squat down, right? It's in like a catcher's position. So นั่งยองor นั่งยอง. So ซุ่มนั่งยอง is the kind of toilet where you have to sit like that. So they will ask you if you can use it. You know,ก็ because you could say ใช้ไม่เป็นครับใช้ไม่เป็นเลยครับไม่ถนัดI'm not comfortable using it. I'm not okay using it. Or you could say ผมยังไม่ชินครับ I'm not used to it yet, right? Or you could also say maybe something like คือใช้ได้นะครับแต่ว่าก็ลำบากอยู่นิดนึง so I can use it but it is a bit difficult or it does create some problems for me yeah or ไม่ครับใช่ไม่ถึงใช่มัน sorry not ไม่ครับ that would be from different question sorry ใช้ได้เลยครับคือผมไม่มีปัญหาอยู่แล้วตอนเด็กผมเป็น catcher เวลาเล่นเบสบอลI wouldn't advise you to answer this and you have to explain what a catcher does in baseball but you know you could say ได้สบายครับไม่มีปัญหา right if you want to say yeah sure it's no problem right so that's about it for today แค่นี้นะครับที่จะสอนในวันนี้หวังว่าได้ประโยชน์บ้างนะครับ I hope you benefited from this or found some advantage or found something useful in this แล้วก็ติดตามรอคอยวิดีโอต่อไปนะครับ Stay tuned for the next video สวัสดีครับ